Um, this has just been a huge blessing in my life, the company, for a lot of reasons. But part of it, obviously, financially, which is why a lot of people are here. But then also just being around good people, um, which is important, that are gonna um, make you a better person and help you have good habits. And we can talk a little bit about this because it's the new year, but just to win in life. And so I just want to say I'm super grateful for this company and what it's done. And if you're newer and you're starting your journey here, I think you're going to have, if you can go all in and you can go, you know what, I'm going to give this a chance. I'm not going to hold back. I think you'd be very surprised at what this industry can do for your life. So, um, to get started, today the topic is like how or why would I start recruiting if I haven't seen a lot of success yet? And I'm going to go through kind of my own situation, but first I want to ask a question because the we just had Christmas, the holidays are here, a lot of people are taking time off. And the question I want to ask you is this: if you are um, open enough, if you would share in the chat, if you're in a position where you don't want to take more time off, you actually want to make money or you need to make money, so you're not looking to take another week off and get rolling late in the year because you want to make money now. Could you put something in the chat if that would be you? I'm just curious how many people. Okay. So most people, when they get started in this industry, the beautiful thing about it is they come here because they need to make money. Okay. Now, what ends up happening is if they go all in, they can change their situation really fast. Now, one thing I did, if you guys are recruiting or leading a team or even just getting started, something that I've done every year since the company opened is I worked through the holidays even if I didn't make the money. I mean, even if I didn't need the money. So let's say I was doing good financially, but I knew the new guy. Like there's a girl in the office here today. She needs to make money. I knew the new person. They were where I was when the company opened. And so I would always lead the way by working through these holidays and not really buying the lie that you can't work. You have to take 2 weeks off because the world shuts down at the end of the year. And I want to tell you guys a couple stories. So, one, my ritual is to wear during the holiday season. You guys can take this to Thanksgiving or you can do this same strategy at any time of the year. But basically, what I would do is I would share my activity throughout the holidays. And so, like, today would be a great day to dial. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day are great days to sell for someone that needs money. There's actually a lot of people home that maybe you can't get a hold of, and I would not be scared to go work. But one year, I always wear a ugly Christmas sweater that has the face of a pug on it, like the dog. That's my work Christmas sweater shirt, and I would call leads. And it's very important that we, as we're going through, as you guys are agents and you're figuring out how to do this and communicate with people, it's very important that you don't forget why we're doing it. Now, one year that really opened my eyes was I had a lead that never answered the phone, and I worked this last week right now. The guy picked up and he goes, "Yeah, no one, or I'm always working. This is my only week off." So I go and I write him a policy. He has a 9-year-old daughter. I get a call in February that he died. He's like in his 30s. We had a check for his daughter, and it kind of changed my mindset to where we're helping people instead of I'm bothering people. And I've had to correct my own mindset a lot of times in this industry because of that. Um, so if you guys are working, remember we're doing a good thing. We're helping people, and it's all in our head that we can't get out of our situation now. Now, the other beautiful thing is I always say this. This is the only industry where you could literally wake up 10 to $20,000 richer within a few days because you can get paid within 2 to 3 days. And the end of the year is what I always call fourth quarter magic. And it's usually when I've had a lot of my breakthroughs. So a few times I'm trying to make it as an agent early on, and I go to these national conferences and I learn like phrases to use to find annuity money. And I wrote a couple deals. One of them was crazy though. You guys got to hear this. I call this lady during the holiday season, like now. She says she's never home because she's a nurse, but she's finally home. She has some time off. She says she's looking for a place to put her retirement, which was $1 million, and her company was making her move it because she was getting ready to retire, and she wasn't allowed to leave it there. So I went and ran some numbers for her, and this deal ended up being a $95,000 commission. Okay, so this completely changed my whole situation. So wherever you're at, go through the numbers because you will come across deals that will change your financial situation and get you ahead and get you out of, if you're in a bad situation, it can get you out of it quickly. Okay, so let's get into recruiting. Um, how should somebody recruit if they're new or they're not seeing the success they want yet? My answer is kind of like this. If you're The number one reason you should recruit people is for you. And people always go, "What do you mean by that?" And I go, "Well, the day you recruit someone is the day you take this business a lot more serious." I always say it's the day you give up the right to be average and ordinary in this industry. All of a sudden you start working harder because somebody's watching you. Oh, Bridget, I love this. Scare the chargebacks. We're gonna get into that too. But so one, you will work harder and you will get results faster if someone else is looking to you because you brought them in the business. It will help you. So that's one reason. Two, your learning curve might be really bad, like mine was. It took me 6 months to figure out what I was doing. Some of the people I brought in that first 6 months that I introduced to the business are still to this day really big teams that I have. One of them is Jack Hugh, who's like a 10-time Hall of Fame producer. When I recruited him, I just told him the truth. I'm just learning. This is how the industry works. Here's everything you need to know and make your own decision. And he goes, I do want to do this. So the other crazy thing is like so many people are coming to this industry. My kids gave me we call them preschool colds. I don't know if you have any kids in preschool, but they come home, they give you colds, and then they're kind of crazy. And yesterday I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get an IV to try to get better faster. And the IV lady goes, I was never sick until I had kids. The IV lady goes, yeah, my son just got his insurance license. Um, he's leaving solar to get his insurance license. I'm like, oh, let me talk to him. So everybody's coming here anyways. I actually got a call last week. The lady's like, my neighbor joined someone else's team. She didn't know I worked with Family First Life. I didn't know she wanted to sell life insurance. Can she switch to my team now? The answer is no. The answer is we should recruit now because everybody in sales wants to sell life insurance now. This is a 300-year-old industry. You're not, it's like if I'm recruiting somebody, I'm not asking them to do something that like just came around. This is this is a 350-year-old industry. National Life Group had they paid a death claim on the Titanic. Mutual of Omaha has been through two world wars, the Spanish flu, COVID, and all kinds of other crazy things, and always paid their claims. This isn't something that's not going to work. It is going to work if they have the burning desire to win and change their life. That's really what you're looking for when you're recruiting people. Do you have the burning desire to live and change their life? Um, Now, the other thing is we can do this on Zoom. Like we can literally do this on Zoom now. We don't have to go in the home. So it opens up the door to so many different people. And I'm going to tell you guys a crazy story that I wasn't going to tell, but I bet you guys probably want to hear it. This is when I was young and kind of crazy. Um, I wouldn't call it crazy. I would just call it stupid. So we used to go to people's houses. We couldn't sell on Zoom. And some of the houses would be sketchy as heck. I go one day to this appointment out in the middle of the desert in California. I meet this dude and he I'm like he's an iron worker and I uh I sell him a policy and I'm like, "Hey, I want a Superman logo in my fence. Can you make me an iron gate that has a Superman logo in it?" Because I thought that would be crazy because no one would have that. And I was gonna put it in my front yard. He's like, "Yeah, it's gonna cost me." I think he said it was like $1,000. And he comes over, he measures my fence, he does all this stuff. Now the appointment was sketchy thinking back to it. Um, but this dude never makes my fence. So I had these two Samoan friends that were no one wanted to mess with in high school because Samoans are just stronger than everybody somehow. And I told him, I'm like, hey, can you go get my money back from this dude? Cisco and Angel's their names. Can you go get my money back from this dude who stole my money? And they were like, yeah, we're gonna go get your money back. Um, Now you guys got to remember I was a kid at this point, so no, no judging. Well, Angel's like, I'm gonna bring you back his shirt. I'm gonna get your money and I'm gonna bring you back his shirt. Okay. Yeah, I'm like, okay, this is crazy. Next thing you know, they don't end up finding the dude. I turn on Fox News in the morning. This dude is getting arrested for murder. Literally getting arrested for murder. This is a very public murder case. And I'm like, yo, I was in this dude's house. He was at my house. Um, the whole thing is absolutely insane. I'm giving you guys very little details. I almost got my well, they I don't know. I'm not too worried about the Samoans because they're complete animals, but that could have went really bad. But the point is this: most people would not want to do that. They wouldn't want to go to house after house after house after house. And a lot of times women wouldn't want to do it. Like, is it safe to go house after? But now we have a system where anybody can do this from their house or from an office. And that's why I always say this industry was just reborn. And if you're, yeah, if you, if you don't understand that this is like the gold rush for a 350-year-old industry that's completely reborn, then you're missing out and you're going to miss this wave because the opportunity is so good and so many people are winning that there's no reason not to do this. Now, the other thing is I use this analogy a lot, but I always wanted to get into this industry because of the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, which was get into sales, make good money, and go buy properties. And but then I realized like if I recruit an Uber driver, someone said Uber driver, if I recruited an Uber driver, then I would I would make the same amount of money if they sold 10 policies a month in overrides as I would if I had a paid off rental property. So then I was like, dude, Robert Kiyosaki's got this wrong. Like, real estate's not where it's at. Recruiting and training life insurance agents is where it's at because you don't need to have two, three, $400,000 to get that same amount of passive income. And once I saw that, I was like, yo, this is crazy. How many times can we do this? How many people could we hire? And then I realized I'm working with the best company and I kind of it's kind of like cheating. It's like a cheat code because what we're offering so crazy with the bonuses, the producer bonuses, $4 million of bonuses going out a month, the compensation that's really, really fair, up to 145%, no contracts. You're not getting locked up. You get to own your own book. Your family's a beneficiary with the carriers. So if you die, your family's going to get your renewals, you're back in commission. You get paid directly from the carrier, so no one can tamper with your money. I could go on and on all day long on why, but the point is like take this opportunity and whatever you want in this new year, break it down into small goals. Like, does anybody think it's impossible on here to put one person in class every single day? If you do, I actually want to know. Can you put that is impossible? And by the way, Family First Life pays for the class. So is it impossible to find one person every day to put in a class? Does anybody think that's impossible? You realize at the end of the year that's 365 people in class, and you know that a team that does a million a month is usually around 100 people selling. And if you had 10 or 20 points on a million a month, you could do the math that that's 100 to $200,000 a month in income. Like it's not that crazy. All right. Um, so why recruit early? One, you could be a slow learner. Two, you're gonna miss out. Three, it's a selfish reason because you will step up because you will have to. All right. Uh, there's something that I came up with called the 10-10-10 rule. And that was an aggressive growth spurt where I wanted to write 10K every week, put 10 people in class every week and get 10 licensed agents every single week. People go, that sounds crazy. Well, it's not because the cash flow can pay for staff and staff can help you hit those goals. And there's a lot of people looking for a change, especially at the new year. If you want to recruit, the new year is a good time to run ads, ZipRecruiter, whatever you're going to do, DM people because it's a time where people reflect and they want to change. So take the opportunity right now. Um, all right, let's see. Okay. So I want to give another sales tip because I think the best thing you can do for your team is sell. And I want to tell you guys one other story just to make you realize something when it comes to sales that took me a long time to realize. Has anybody ever had somebody say they're going to call them back and buy and they love them and they're awesome, but they're going to call you back because they just need a couple days to think about it? Has anyone ever had that happen? Never. Okay. So a lot of people don't know this about me, but I went on 10,000 appointments. 10,000 appointments. Uh, no one ever, 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 ever called me back. And this, I mean, one dude wanted me to date his daughter. He wanted me to take her to the movies. He wanted to adopt me. And I'm like, bro, how about get this $56 a month policy? I'll get it in a couple days. I'll call you back. One dude wanted me to come to a family barbecue. They loved me. They wanted to adopt me. They said they're going to call me back. They're going to call me back in a couple days, 100%. They've never called me back. I've never had one person ever call me back. Some people say they've had a couple, and I'm like, I don't know. I've never had one. But I want to tell you guys something. And this, I want to tell you this to so you can respect your time. I went on an appointment. The dude goes, I really like this policy. It's $100 a month. My kid is throwing a temper tantrum, so you're gonna have to come back tomorrow. Now, back in the day, we would drive like 2, 3 hours to go to appointments because there wasn't a lot of leads available. So I go, I'm like, bro, I have to drive home right now 2 hours and then come back in the morning 2 hours, and all I need is your signature. And he goes, look, man, I'm a police officer. I'm gonna have all my friends over tomorrow. We're all gonna buy policies. It'll be worth the time. So I drive home and I drive back. My man was home and didn't answer the door. Listen to what I just said. He was home. I could hear him inside, and he did not answer the door. So I drove for no reason. That was the day I realized I was going to stop being soft when it came to closing. Our job is not to give information to people. Our job is to help people make a decision, even if it's uncomfortable. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I hear a lot of new agents and they're just information givers. I don't know. I don't know about that. I flew out to Hawaii last month to write a church and they were not. Well, I think you could write NLG, Bridget. You should go back to Hawaii. All right, to the chargebacks. Someone said they're scared of chargebacks. I used to be scared to death of chargebacks. Sometimes the worst things that happen to you are actually the best things that happen to you. Trey Honeycutt always says, God's greatest gifts come in ugly wrapping paper. And I'm like, it never really makes sense until later. You're like, oh, that makes so much sense. But I want to talk about this. One, we're running a business. Every business has chargebacks. If you run a pizza restaurant, you got food that goes bad. If you run a anything, any type of restaurant, you got stuff that goes wrong. Walmart would be a Fortune 500 company if you just took the returns and the theft and added that up. They would be a Fortune 500 company in a negative type of way. So what I'm trying to say is if you want to be self-employed and live the perks of having your own schedule, being your own boss, making more money, getting passive income, then you also have to accept and understand chargebacks because they come with every single business. But one thing that used to happen to me is I wouldn't want to call customers back because I wouldn't want to remind them they got a policy because I wouldn't want them to cancel. Has anybody ever done that or felt that? Like you literally don't want to call them back because you're like, what if they change their mind? Now that's the dumbest thing I could have ever done. Um, instead of real if and someone said to me, they go, what if somebody um wouldn't you want to know if somebody's gonna cancel in like 2 or 3 months? I mean now instead of in 2 or 3 months, wouldn't you want to know? I'm like, yeah, actually that makes a ton of sense. And then the other thing is how many cases can you save because there's some type of confusion? Like the this would be an example. One of the cousins come over that worked at Primerica for a week, got his insurance license, and has a crazy opinion on her policy that made her not want to get it. Well, you could clear a lot of that up and you can save a lot of policies if you actually call them and you're open with them. Now, something that I learned is this, okay? And I want you guys to take this. It's a lot easier to save a sale that you already made than it is to make a new one. So I made a rule where every time somebody would cancel, I would tell them, we can cancel, but I need to get your signature and we have to pop on Zoom. They and you do need to get their signature to cancel a policy. You can't just cancel it and then all of a sudden they're like they die and the kids are like, we never canceled that. Then it's like some big he said, she said mess. So you do have to get this signature. But I found that I would save 50% of my cases, 50%, if I would just have that call with them and I would find out that one, they were confused, two, somebody was lying to them, or three, maybe we just need to lower the coverage a little bit. So do not give up on your customers. Someone told me the other day, the things that when you face things you fear, it frees you. And when you ignore them, it imprisons you. So if you can just face these things and go, what would you say on the initial set during the sale? Sit during the sale? Um, I don't really understand that question exactly, but uh, I'll try to get to that if we have more time. Okay. The other thing is chargebacks are going to happen. The best thing that ever happened to me was this policy I wrote. It was a bigger policy. The commission was around 20,000 because I learned how to do IULs at the national conference. Now my customer called me and goes, "Hey, now, first of all, I spent the money before I got the commission." And then I got the commission and I was like, "Oh man, this is nice," even though I had already spent all the money. Um, then my customer calls me and goes, "Hey, Andrew, Jackie from AAA called me and she said this is a bad policy. We need to cancel and go with her." I'm like, "Bro, Jackie from AAA." I was pissed. This chargeback early on in my career, I couldn't even sleep. I was like thinking about this chargeback all the time. It was giving me anxiety. And I'm like, I put so much work into this deal. I spent so much time with this family to finally get this deal to go through, and then they're just canceling it because Jackie from AAA. So I was like, I'm not going to I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna call them back. I'm gonna meet with them, and I'm gonna try to go up against Jackie from AAA. Well, the policy gets canceled. I have to send the money back, and I'm like, chargebacks absolutely suck. And funny thing is, I met with them. I think it was 13 times, and I got her to cancel Jackie from AAA's policy because most of it was just BS, and then reinstate my policy. So I actually didn't end up getting a chargeback. But the best thing that happened to me, yeah, in your face, Jackie. The best thing that happened to me was that chargeback because the little chargebacks didn't scare me anymore. It's like Trey's thing where he's like, God's greatest gift comes in ugly wrapping paper. It was like I needed that to happen because then the 500, the 300, the $1,000 chargebacks didn't scare me anymore. Now the other thing is you will not be scared of chargebacks if you're consistently writing policies every single week because you won't feel them. It's when you get motivated and then unmotivated and motivated and unmotivated, that's when these chargebacks start to build up. And you also, there was a book I read called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind where it tells you how to break up your money when it comes in. Like it just gives a recommendation. Because a lot of people, even if you're making a lot of money, they'll just go spend it. We call it the Disneyland curse. Every new agent that comes in, they get their first few commissions. Next thing you know, they're big ballers at Disneyland, which is like Disneyland ain't cheap. Then they get a couple chargebacks, and early on, they have this unnecessary turbulence because they didn't manage their money when they could have easily done that. So, kind of teaching people, hey, let's be smart. This is an advance. It is a great industry, but it is an advance, and let's reinvest back into our own business. Um, oh, that's how I did it when I was our real estate agent. Yeah, a lot of people do it, but just teaching people that. I'm big on investing a lot. Now, a lot of people, they run this like a lemonade stand and they wonder why it doesn't work. What it needs to be ran is like a real company because it is a real company and it is a real business and it's your own business. And I think a lot of people got to start treating it that way, which means, yeah, you can hire employees, you can get an office. One of the big things right now is people are getting offices and then they're filling the office with people selling, and they're taking inbound transfers, which makes it really easy to keep people on the phones. And I don't know if you guys have heard about inbounds, but inbounds are legit. Uh, so like that to me, that's a real business. To me, it's like, okay, if we did 10 interviews every single week for new people, oh, look at that, Heather. 1,090 this AM on inbound. Heather, are you using the ones that Trey's using? Smash 50K with inbound this month. Yeah, let's go. Okay. All right. Wait. Why were you calling customers after they already purchased? I don't understand that one. But if I sold a customer, I'm gonna call them back because I want to solidify the deal and make sure that they are going to keep the deal and make sure that they're happy, and I want to service their customer. And, all right, so Heather, can you drop the link for the inbound you're using? Inbound is basically somebody clicks on a link, they call you, and it's a good supplement for your business. And a lot of new agents, instead of outbound dialing all day, it gives them a break because they can get some people calling them. They call you, and the conversion rate is 2.9 out of 10, which is what we've seen. The leads are around 50 to 60 bucks, but the people they call into you. And if you think about it, if this business isn't getting any easier, I don't know, bro. Like with inbounds, this is crazy. So Heather Robeson just dropped a link on the one she's using, and she's amazing. But it's definitely a cheat code. And someone was like, "Don't tell anyone because then there's not going to be enough for me." It's this scarcity mindset. But I'm like, bro, did you know 100,000 inbound leads come in every single day for life insurance? 100,000 people call in. Like, chill. Your ten leads are not going to be disrupted that you get because we tell other people how this can help them as well. Couple things on inbounds. You do need to talk to someone like Heather and get some training on them because if you're just eating Chipotle and they call you and they can hear you shoveling food in your mouth, you're probably not going to sell it. Like there is a strategy to it. All right. Last thing, national conference. I've never missed a conference. If you work with me, you have to go or I will not work with you. Why? Because it'll speed up your career significantly. And to me, you're not serious if you can't spend $99 on a Spirit airline flight and $99 on a convention ticket. And if you have to share a room with somebody to go get training that is on something that's going to be your career from the people that are doing the best at it, especially when people spend 50, 60, 80, 100, $200,000 on private or on college, and they don't have a job or a way to make money when they get out. Here you basically you can make money 7 days leaving, applying the things that you learn. Yeah, you can receive those inbounds on Saturday and Sunday. But to me, it's a must. So this is what I want to tell you guys. My job is to sell you on going to conference. Every 10 people that go equals $50,000 in premium, whether they're licensed or not. If they're not licensed, it's even more important that they go because this is going to be their career. They are licensed and they think they know everything. They don't because I'm still learning things and I've been to like 100 conferences because I'm always trying to learn and get better. If you have an excuse on why you can't go, I need you to flip that excuse to why you should go. I can't go because I need a dog sitter. Maybe that's why you need to go, so you can afford a dog sitter. I can't go because I need too much money. I mean, because I need to make money fast. Maybe that's a reason you should go. Now, I also want to tell you guys on the curse of convention. Do you guys want to know what the curse of convention is? There's going to be a lot of agents that work with you, and their reason is going to be they need to stay home so they can sell. Now, for some reason, there's a curse around this where when they stay home that week, they can't close any sales. And I don't know what it is, but then you're like, bro, you stayed home, you missed out on all this information. How much did you sell? Zero. I didn't sell nothing. So every single every single agent on my team, I'm calling and I'm closing them like a lead to go to national convention. And my pitch is the same to every single person. Why can't you go? Can we make that a reason you should go? Do you need help finding a roommate? Because I can help you find a roommate. Did you know Spirit Airline is $99 and you can go, so it doesn't cost much money, and it's the safest airline in the sky because you never see them on the reels on Instagram with the engines on fire. So that's an even better reason to go fly on Spirit Airline. Uh, yeah, see, there's no like for what the value is, I would see people don't even know. FFLconvention.com. Uh Gary V is one of the guest speakers. This thing is legit. The company spends $5 million putting on a training for 3 days that's better than anything you'll ever go to. It's $99 to go, and there's going to be 7 or 10,000 people that have the same goal as you. You're going to meet a lot of people. You're going to meet the carriers. You're going to meet the lead vendors. You're going to meet freaking everybody in this 3 days. It'll be jam-packed with information on annuities, IULs, leads, training, scripts, everything you can think of. So you have to go. It's in Irving, Texas, and it is the first couple days of February. If you go to fflconvention.com, 28th through 30th, my bad. January 28th through 30th. But point is this is our career. Us sitting at home in a bedroom is not going to get us to think bigger about what we're going to do with our lives. That's not when you have the aha moment of, oh, look what I could do. It's not where you think, oh, it's not where you commit to doing more. And by the way, Heather's comment, this is your business, not a job. If you treat it like a job, you won't be around very long. Like literally, it will not work. So, um, I call everybody. I have I have a list, and I go, hey, Tommy, are you going? Why not? How do we make sure you go? Everyone that works with us is going. They're going to give me a list of excuses. I'm going to go, okay, well, we still need you to go because this is going to change your life. And you're going to get around all the other producers and you're going to learn so much. And honestly, like you're going to waste a lot of my time being a new agent and then fizzle out because you don't go. Orlando, that question is actually a great question. The answer is, do I work with them? Like they can work here, but I'm not investing my time and energy in them. It's a very good test of how serious somebody is to this business. So like, yeah, obviously they could sell insurance and work here, but when it comes to investing, helping, um, and all these other things, I'm gonna apply my time somewhere else. All right. Let me answer this question. We'll answer a couple questions and we'll wrap this up. How do you psychologically detach from money? What's the most amount of debt you've ever been in? And what's your mindset during that? Dude, Kendrick, I got stories, campfire stories for days, bro. One of my friends got addicted to cocaine, wrote $80,000 of fake policies, and disappeared. And that debt rolled up to me. What I do, I just stepped up. Oh, hold on, guys. I stepped up and I worked through it, and it became one of those things that made me better because this is the thing. You have to go through things to run a big company. Like if somebody hanging up the phone on you because you bought a $20 lead, uh, and you freak out and throw your freaking kick your desk and you're pissed, how are you going to handle it when you have a big problem running a big company? So basically, all these little things you basically need to accept them and obviously go to conferences and learn from people to limit them because I could have limited that if I had the information I needed to limit that. I could have stopped that from happening. But like th- you're going to have adversity and you're supposed to have adversity. So Rodney, how is that possible? It's called fraud. That's how it's possible. Now the good news is the carriers, the industry, AI, all these things are a lot better to where it's stuff like that is not that common. Um, but that's what go to convention, how to keep business on the books, how to identify a bad agent and stop them so they can't get commissions. And if that scared you, that's good. That's actually another test of like you don't want to run a big business. Have you ever explored Facebook ad campaigns for generating your own inbound leads? Nicholas, I have not. I've explored a lot. I think the danger is a lot of people are going to spend more time trying to create leads than making money, and then you go broke. And then everyone has the idea that they want to sell leads because they don't want to sell life insurance. It's called creative avoidance, and then they also go broke. Um, so my answer is I would let the pros do it. You can do it if you want, but I want to spend all my time instead of saving $5 on a lead, talking to a lead that's going to make me $2,000. And I want to teach my team to do the exact same thing. Uh, let's see. How much money should one build up and set aside before reinvesting back into the business to cover chargebacks and bills? I think that question depends on everybody's lifestyle, but what you have to understand is if you don't reinvest into leads, then your revenue's not going to be steady. And if your revenue's not steady, then you can't pay your bills at home. So I think the most important thing is to keep that lead budget going and not turn it off and on because then it's like I felt like a psychopath. Like I would turn my leads on and I think I'm doing great and then I turn them off because I want to work my old ones and I'm desperate for a sale and I'm starting to go broke and then I turn them on. It's a roller coaster ride. So the most important thing is keeping that lead bill on. And now you can always adjust it, tweak it, but making sure that you get comfortable putting that money out every single week. What do you do about agents that say they want it, but their actions and commitment say otherwise? Let them fail alone or remove them if they're bringing your agency down. Yeah, what I do is I pepper them with wins. I'll text them. Um, and this is all from personal experience because at one time I was this negative agent. But what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna do is if somebody's negative, I'm gonna keep telling them about wins constantly. I'm gonna text them. Did you hear Billy wrote 3,000 today? Did you hear Timmy did um whatever, wrote an annuity today? Now, if they don't stop, I just stop spending time with them because there's a lot of times they will change. Uh, but the reason I tell you that is because sharing positive news with people can change their entire day. I always tell people I was watching Netflix early on, making a sandwich at home, chilling on a Tuesday, saying that I was a full-time life insurance agent. And my friend who uh who I worked with texts me and goes, I just wrote 3,000 in premium. I literally turned the TV off, grabbed my leads and started calling. And I was like, whoa, success is contagious. And also, negativity is a virus. So you got to stay away from it because it can definitely hurt you big time. How do you optimize time between recruiting and producing at a high level? All right, if you're producing at a high level, you're going to recruit. Like, there's no way if you're getting these deposits that you're not going to automatically have people. They can just feel it. They'll know. You'll be around people that be like, bro, what the heck do you do? So I always think I prioritize that. But then if you're selling at a high level, Gustin, you'll have plenty of money to hire a few people to help you recruit, and then you can continue selling at a high level, continue to recruit, and then what you do is you lean on the trainings of the company and the conferences. That way you don't have to do everything yourself, and you're almost delegating a free resource to help train your guys. But the truth is most of the people that are not doing it, um, yeah, Josiah, can we unmute Josiah? Because this is incredible, and this is why we do this. I don't know if someone can unmute him, and we'll end the call on this.
Yo, what up, Andrew?
What's up, my man? How are you?
Good, bro. Good. I'm doing really good.
All right, bro. Drop how we met and what has happened in the last, and you can be as honest as you want, or you can leave some stuff out.
Yeah, man. I mean, the way we met, I was pretty much homeless, rock bottom with my kids, just went through a nasty divorce. And then I had came across an FFL video on, I think it was Instagram. So I just found your number and called you. And I shot my last bullet, man. And you put me in connection with Brett. I spent my last, I think it was like $130 I had to my name on a flight ticket to the Vegas lock-in. And it was, I got licensed in like 2 days. And then the Vegas lock-in was like the next day after I got licensed. Closed my first deal there. Um, and then from there, it's just been crazy, man. I just bought a 2024 Jaguar. I'm not homeless anymore.
What?
Yeah.
Bro, that
Things
changed fast.
Yeah, that's why like when you were saying like it's crazy how fast things can change for people in this industry, it really is. I mean, I've been in kind of the entrepreneurial space for like 6 years now. I've tried probably every business model you can imagine, and I've had the absolute fastest success in this industry. This month alone, I'll cross over 50K issue paid.
That's amazing, bro. Now, you guys don't understand how bad this was. When he came here, we told him he wasn't allowed to go home until he made a sale. He's never sold life insurance. What month was this?
This was August, end of August, so almost September.
Now, dude, you couldn't buy diapers, remember?
Yeah. Yep.
Like this story was absolutely insane. Now, tell me that if you had somebody on here that Josiah's story wouldn't recruit them or make them realize, yeah, I want to see this Jaguar. Text me a picture of this thing.
Yeah, I'll send it. I'll send it. I'm dropping off my kid at my grandma's now. But yeah, I'll send it to you later.
Yeah, and dude, you didn't have a place to live. You didn't have nothing.
Uh,
And how old are your kids?
so my son's 2.5, and my daughter's like 5.5.
And something went down with your wife and she took off.
Yeah, man. So I actually had a really successful lead gen company, but I was very young, had no financial literacy, paid zero taxes. So when the IRS came knocking, they pretty much took everything I had to sell a lot of things, and then when kind of stuff started going down the toilet, wife disappeared, took the rest of what I had, and then I was just left with my kids, man, in a pretty tough spot.
Now, did they have a good Christmas?
Oh yeah, they had an amazing Christmas, dude. I spent like 4 grand, 5 grand just on them alone.
Let's go.
So yeah, man, changed my life. It really changed my life, and I think if you really just lock in, I think it's like anything in life, though. I feel like a lot of people come into this industry and they think it's going to be easy. It's definitely not easy, but it's simple. So if you just really lock in, make the dials, make the calls, you will see success, and you'll see it fairly quickly. And you also, make sure your upline is providing really good support. Like for me, I was blessed enough to have Brett, and I mean, he pretty much showed me all the ropes.
Yeah, but dude, what Brett does is he gets on Zoom and he sells,
Yep.
and you watch.
Yep. Yeah, for
Like
sure.
that's, and then he you believe you can do it because you see him do it. You also see him get hung up on, and you're like,
100%.
yo, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, dude,
100%.
I want to see you build something big in this industry, bro. This will be an incredible story that will motivate a lot of people and help a lot of people. Now, this story is contagious. So the reason when I'm recruiting, I tell people you got to go to the conferences, you got to get on the trainings, is because they're going to feel better after hearing this story than they will making a sandwich, watching Netflix, and listening to their cousin tell them how life insurance is a pyramid scheme. Make
Yep.
sense? All right, my man. Thanks, brother. All right,
All
guys.
right,
So
brother. Take care.
we are we're gonna wrap up this call, but we have these every single week at the same time. And there's so many trainings. Plug your agents in and don't try to do everything yourself. The other thing is I want you guys, something I do every single year is I draw a T out on a piece of paper. And on the left-hand side, I write down all my goals. What do I want this year? And on the right-hand side, I write down what I'm willing to give up to have that goal. And I think the right-hand side is the most important part of this exercise. I have my T chart from 2008 still. My goal was to get 10 people to a national convention. And what I was going to do was talk to one person a day about selling life insurance and see if I can, at the end of the year, get 10 people to the national convention. So I just want to share that with you guys because whatever it is, I think we can do it, but we have to be aware of what we're going to give up. Other than that, you guys are awesome. Looking forward to growing this company with you guys. We're still a baby, but we're going to make a huge impact on the world and on a bunch of people. So thank you guys. See ya.